And well, for more on this, we're now being joined by Ambassador Veena Sikri, who is a former Indian diplomat. Welcome to WION, Ambassador.
Thank you.
Ambassador Sikri, India has taken a strong 5-point action against Pakistan that targets Pakistan's infrastructure, diplomatic presence and movement across borders. First up, how do you see this move by New Delhi against Islamabad, and your thoughts on the broader geopolitical ramifications?
Well, I think this is a strong and decisive series of moves against Pakistan. And I think, in the face of the dastardly and very, very bestial attack on innocent tourists in Pahalgam by Pakistani terrorists, I think this is absolutely the first step that the government, or the first series of steps that the government has decided on. I think the suspension or putting into abeyance of the Indus River Treaty is a significant step. It has been talked about for at least 15 years now that it is an option that India should exercise, but India had never so far exercised this option. If you recall, our Prime Minister Modi, way back in 2016, he had said when discussing the Indus River Treaty that blood and terror cannot flow together. And really today it has been proved that you cannot have the blood of the Indian people on the hands of the Pakistani terrorists, and then they want to get the full rights of water under the Indus River Treaty. And I must explain that the reason why there was this discussion for the last 15 years on suspension of the Indus River Treaty is because it's an unequal treaty. Only 30% of the waters are available for India's use and 70% are going to Pakistan. And even on the 30% that India is using, there are so many restrictions, sharing of water flow data, any design of any project you want has to be shared with Pakistan. They have to approve it, and they've been raising so many problems on it and not clearing the design, delaying project implementation by not clearing the designs. Then you have to, allow the engineers to come and check and verify and all those things. It was a very, very difficult treaty and in many ways an unequal treaty. So now that it's been suspended, I think from my point of view, it's a very decisive, strong measure. And while you may say that, it'll take time to implement, etc., it has rattled the powers that be in Pakistan. And this is the one talking point that is there in Pakistan today, because they are a water shortage country and they are misutilizing the waters that come to them. All the army people are taking them for irrigating their fields, and very little water is left after Punjab for flowing into Sindh and then for flushing out the river and going into the ocean, into the Arabian Sea. And I think that that the way in which we have now suspended the treaty, it gives us the full rights to utilize the river waters and see whatever we need for the people of Jammu and Kashmir. And this is amazing because, the treaty, the Indus River Treaty, is for the benefit on our side for the people of Jammu and Kashmir. And Pakistan has always been objecting to that. And not wanting to benefit the people of Jammu and Kashmir, but at the same time saying that they, their heart bleeds for the people of Jammu and Kashmir, and all that kind of absolutely, meaningless words that they use. So I think that this has been a very important first step. This whole series of decisions is the first step. The decision to expel the Army, Navy and Air Defense attaches is important because, at least from the Pakistan side, these were almost invariably ISI officials, and they were doing no good at all. In fact, very negative. Their activities were known to be highly negative and against India's interests. So that now they've been expelled, it'll be a much calmer period. They will not have access to a lot of the shenanigans they were up to earlier. The cancellation of SARC visas means that, the people who have SARC visas are allowed to travel under every circumstance, but even that has been banned. So really speaking, there will be no interaction at all between India and Pakistan. All Pakistani nationals in India have been told to leave India by April 27th. So that means that, this is going to be a complete cutoff. And this is only the beginning, I think. Any kind of kinetic action that the government may have in mind is certainly not going to be spoken of in the public domain. And I'm sure that they are considering so many options which they possibly have.
Right. I was just coming to the point you made there that this is the first step of diplomatic moves that New Delhi has taken. And of course, any kind of kinetic action will not be laid out in the open. I also want to seek your thoughts if India's tough response to further isolate Pakistan diplomatically, or is it pushing regional differences to a deeper freeze, especially with China watching closely?
Well, I always feel that such actions that India has taken today, yesterday, very decisive, very forceful, these have to be followed up by diplomatic actions as well. What we have done has to be explained to all the countries of the world. We have to explain to them the situation in Jammu and Kashmir. We have to explain to them that Pakistan has no rights over this union territory of India, and that Pakistan only has to return the Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir, POJK, that has to be returned to India. This needs a very forceful diplomatic campaign on this subject, but many countries, A, don't understand the details of the situation, and B, the Pakistani diplomats are always at it. For them, this is the only one-point agenda they have with most countries of the world, and their ambassadors, they go on and on plugging away at it, whereas we, think that why should we go on and on plugging away at it? But now I think after the Pahalgam terrorist attacks, I think we have to revive this. We have to explain to the world why Pakistan and how Pakistan is the global epicenter of terrorism. And all those across the world, including leaders like President Trump, who have been most forceful on his, distaste for terrorism and his decision to take action against terrorism, his counterterrorism approach is very strong. So, leaders like him and other leaders who are equal, and even our own, well-wishers in the Gulf, our Prime Minister was in Saudi Arabia only 2 days ago, and had very good visit, and he's had visit in UAE, he's been awarded the highest national awards by many countries in this area. They all, we have to explain to them the significance of what has happened, what it means, and how this terrorism must stop. And unless it does, not only South Asia, it'll burst over. It'll go all over. And China is keeping on helping Pakistan on this, giving them weapons, giving them aircraft, and really blindly helping them.
Right.
And in turn, of course, Pakistan blindly does what China wants them to do. So I think you're right that diplomatic efforts have to be substantially hiked up to balance and even strengthen the decisions that have been taken on the ground.
Right, Ambassador Sikri. Thanks very much for taking out time and joining us here on WION with your insights.